Madi Faulkner Hatt, Youth Mayor for the Borough of Southend, is with me to talk about the Southend Youth Council and particularly about a big thank you the council's recently organised for our local NHS Keyworkers. We're also joined by Lucy Bissell, who is the main point of contact for the Youth Council via Southend. So, hello Lucy, hello Maddie. I hope I've introduced you both correctly. So, Maddie, can you tell me what the Youth Council's been doing for our key workers and why, please?
We set up the Key Worker project, which was something that we all got involved in as a youth council, which involved us sending 108 mugs to people in the NHS, and we printed a lot of certificates, which were also designed by members of the youth council, and sent them to different services, including the NHS and other emergency services, schools, testing facilities, voluntary services, and then also some of the teams in the Southend Borough Council.
Okay, what prompted you to do that?
Well, we wanted to give back to everyone who's worked really hard in this time. Obviously, it's been a struggle, and that there has been so many people who have put their lives at risk or worked really hard to keep society running. And we just wanted to say a massive thank you to everyone who had taken part in keeping our society as it is.
That's brilliant. On that bit, is there anything important that you would like to say that you haven't said so far?
I think it's just a thank you to everyone who's who maybe has taken part in something and hasn't had the recognition that they deserve, who's been a key worker and has put obviously their time and effort into working, especially in these times where we've got such a risk of going out and doing your job. So it's a thank you to everyone who's taken the time to do the work and actually gone out and done something.
I know you ran a competition to design the mug. How did that come about? How did you do that?
Well, we wanted obviously a design that was designed by one of us as the youth council, and something that we could say was done just personally by us rather than getting something generic. So we thought of the idea of organising a competition so that people would be able to put their inputs in and we could decide on a final design there as well. And so we looked at the logistics of what could be printed on the mug, and we sent the emails out, and we got obviously our replies sent in, and we went into a meeting and decided on the winning design, and that was what was put on the mugs. And also we used a certificate design.
Sorry, I interrupted you there. I didn't mean.
It's fine. Sorry.
A very democratic process then.
I'd hope so.
Going more broadly then, can you tell me a little bit about the Youth Council? What generally does it do? How did you get involved with it? What's the benefit of being in it?
We obviously do a lot of discussions. We work on a lot of projects. So we've had quite a lot that have happened in the past. Obviously, now we're online. We've had to change and limit the projects that we've done. So we've had to adapt how we work, and we're all on online meetings. So we've done a few virtual events as projects. So it's a chance to give back to the community, also trying to change things that we feel passionate about. We have obviously different officer roles and opportunities for people to get more involved if they want to. It's something that I think is really beneficial for a lot of people because it gives you chances to communicate and make contacts that you may have never made before. And you get so many different chances to get involved and learn different skills that you wouldn't have thought about or maybe learn in other situations. And I've got into it through hearing about it from my school and also an email that went out. So I think it was part of an advertising event, and we went to the first meeting and I fell in love with it. I brought my friend along to the next one, and then I became and applied for a role, and she also did. So we've been in council ever since. It's over a year now, coming up to 2 years. So
as you look back over that 2 years then, what do you feel are the things you've achieved? What are the main achievements that you look back on?
I think one of them is I've learned a lot more about how things, like the process of getting things done, because before that, it was more of a school based is what I was doing. I was working on things at school, just handing them in. I went about life in a more simple and simplistic way. But now I've learned a lot about how by just trying to organize something and working with so many people that I can create an event that impacts hundreds of people, and I can spread the word about something easily, and we can do so much so easily if we actually put effort and time into it. I've learned a lot of communication skills as well, with just talking to people and discussing things. Obviously we have our monthly debate in the sessions where we just have a friendly debate about a topic that's decided by one of our officers, the speaker, and that's also helped me develop a lot of skills in sort of negotiating with people and finding that compromise in what we're debating about and just discussing things in general.
From what you're saying, there's a great deal of benefit for the individuals getting involved in terms of the things that you learn, the contacts that you make. Is there stuff that you can point to out in the community and say, actually, the Youth Council is responsible for making that happen, or our input made this change? Are there things that you look around and think, actually, we had a part in making Southend, Lee, the local area better?
Yeah, we do a lot of physical projects. Obviously, some of them have had to be cut down because of COVID, as I mentioned. But for example, we've done a lot of park cleans and beach cleans. We'll go down to the parks and we'll pick up all the litter around, and we'll also go do the same at the beaches. We work a lot with the environmental campaigns that way. One of the events we've had recently was a celebration of Black Lives event. And we did an online virtual event, which tons of people came along to, which was absolutely amazing to see. And we had an artist in Southend as well, paint on one of the boards, image of Marcus Rashford. And it looked absolutely amazing. And so it's a piece of artwork to obviously respect everything that's happened and everything that's been going through in these times. So I think that a lot of the projects that we do that we can fund out and get done in person, we can do a lot to the community.
That's brilliant. Just before we go, is there anything you'd like to add in there, Lucy? I know Maddie's done a very good job of explaining it all. Is there anything you can think of that would be valuable to add to all that?
Yes, I think obviously, as you've explained, Madi has spoke extremely well and has given you an excellent overview of everything that's involved in the Youth Council. I've been involved with the Youth Council on and off for about 8 to 10 years actually, and they inspire me the whole time. They are an incredible group of young people who are work extremely hard. Obviously, as you mentioned, I'm the main kind of point of contact of Southend Youth Council. So the whole time, I'm approached by organisations in the local area who are keen to get in touch with the young people, have ideas for pieces of work, or are just quite keen to have a conversation with our young people to hear their opinions on particular kind of plans or any issues or concerns in the local area. Working alongside the young people, they've always got ideas for activities and campaigns. So I know, obviously, as long as I have an excellent intake, I'm always going to be have an awful lot of work on my hands, which is great. As you had mentioned, the achievements over the past couple of years, or anything that they've been particularly proud of. They've also got plans to do a campaign on anti-knife crime, which they are aware is an extremely important issue in the local area.
Sorry, anti-knife crime?
Yes, knife
Oh,
crime.
right. Okay. I just wanted to make sure I heard you right.
Yes.
Anti-knife crime, right? Okay. Yep.
Yeah, anti-knife crime, and also something else that we undertake each year as part of our youth council. As you've already heard, we've got our youth mayor and our deputy youth mayor and a team of elected officers as well. So as part of that, we've got a mental health officer, an LGBTQ plus officer, an environmental officer as well, and we've also got a member of youth parliament. So obviously they can hear the opinions of the young people in Southend, and then they can represent them as you kind of at that higher level. And as part of that, every year they undertake an annual consultation asking children and young people the issues that are most important to them in the local area. This happened in the autumn last year, and over 2,300 young people took part in this consultation, and their top 2 priorities were homelessness and domestic abuse. So they're also in conversation with organisations in the local area to plan some activities and campaigns. My last point is obviously our youth council is open to young people aged 11 to 18 who attend or go to school in the borough or have a home address in the borough, and it's open to all young people. So as we're obviously always keen to have some an increase in membership at our monthly meetings and to take part in our activities and campaigns. We can be found online. We've got an internet site and www.southendyouthcouncil.co.uk, and we can also be found on social media at SOS Youth Council if you'd like any more information.
That's brilliant. I'll make sure that goes at the bottom of the screen so we've got that in.
Thank you.
And yeah, we'll see what we can do with that. Maddie, if I leave the last word to you, any final thoughts before we wind it up?
I think that, yeah, as Lucy was saying, it's open to everyone. It's not much of a commitment. It's just one meeting a month, and there's so much opportunity to make change with just one idea that you could present at the end of the meeting or within the meeting, and it could be developed into something huge. So yeah, we'd love for new members to come along, and just again a thank you to all the key workers who have been working so hard over this period of time.
That's fantastic, very eloquent, thank you. Brilliant. I'll sign off now and leave you to have your evening and weekend. Thank you for taking the time to talk to me, I really appreciate it.